Good night. And today I slept part of the day because I went to sleep while it was when it was already morning, and I needless to say I'm in a very bad mood, and I speak about it a little bit. I will also speak. I will do another science talk, but it will be a more practical one now. It's more like less of science and more of the technical issues, and I'll tell you. What I've done with the new the machines, the compartments like that, and how I'm going to perhaps improve it, probably tonight. I should say again that I need to force myself to actually work on this, because I lost hope that the scientific work will not be what gets me out of the Nazi prison, because it's only it only gives more incentives for the Israelis to hold me as a prisoner forever, of course. But I need to do something, and I'm in prison, so it's house arrest. It's much better than prison. Arrest house. Certainly the last one. The last arrest was not kind at all on me. I still have my body is still covered with bites from a jail beetle, because they call it bakbakim in Israel. But it's really cruel, and yeah, I have blood like you, and the beetle. It was those little gel beetles. They liked it, and they sucked my blood all over, and still have many biting marks. And it wasn't also that. There were many other factors. But before science and technical issues, what I want to do now is to speak a little bit more about the predicament of the general predicament of my life. It will not be anything new, but it's not the time. Just I've done enough podcasts and blogs over the years, and I know that many of you that listen now do not have access to those materials. But I can't. Right now, it's not. The time to fix it, because everyone that has any even the slightest wish to know to understand the situation, understand it really really well by now. So it's time only for summaries, and not for new groundbreaking information regarding my life. But I need to speak because, and to say this something, because. Even if just for me, because so much wrongdoing was done to me during my life, and this this should be uttered. It should be said again and again. And yes, the situation is that it's one against one person against an entire state, and yes, it is just the way it is. Yes. It's not it's black and white situation, and trying to forcefully detect grayscale in painting which is done only with black and white is cool. This is cruelty. No, it's black and white. I've all my life I was only I was a model citizen in this country, and this state treated me with unimaginable cruelty that only got worse with time. And for a long time now, I don't have any relationship with anyone, because I understood. Back even as there is 2019 that all my friends are and even my family members are actors that are being paid by the Shabak, and I didn't want to play the game, and it doesn't matter that I understood that it's a game. From their point of view, it doesn't matter. You have to play the game, and if you refuse to play the game, I mean, the punishment is very simple. They will take their daughters for me, and they will put me like in mental asylum. And that threat was always, I mean, about me. And eventually, I mean, it materializes. As you know, I haven't seen my daughters for more than like 5 months now. And yes, they put me like in assignment, even if only for a short time. But it's always there. It's always there, the threat. So eventually, I mean, they managed to do whatever, I mean, what they wanted. So, but I understood back on 2019 that, I mean, if I would speak the truth, I mean, my daughter will be immediately taken from me, and I will place in an asylum. So I must lie, and I must play, and I didn't want to do it. And I also understood that, I mean, people like are actually, I mean, getting compensated by making me play the games, and it's such a disgusting, I mean, predicament, and it only got much worse since then. So yeah, it's one against everyone, and they are all scumbags. It's a state of scumbags, of cruel people, of people that are already punished for their crimes, specifically with regards to the foreigners, and the punishment only makes their heart even like tougher and crueler. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. The most important thing, I mean, I was subject to, I mean, to many kinds of like, I mean, torture all my life, and I've spoken about it at great lengths, even in this YouTube channel. Specifically, I mean, the electric, I mean, the electrocutions. I don't know how they do it, but I'm already like, I speculated a little bit about it, and it was horrible. And right now, I mean, currently they don't do it to me like here in this hostel, which is very nice because I mean, it was done to me like constantly on my mother's apartment where I was under like house arrest. I was actually in a house arrest in an apartment that I couldn't get out, while I mean the Shabak is, I mean, torturing me day and night in this apartment, and I can't get out. And eventually, I mean, I had like to leave for like, I mean, for a day, just I mean, walking out like and getting some rest at my grandmother's home, just to have a couple of hours of sleep in a place where you are not electrocuted. And of course, I mean, you know the rest. The police took me, and I was under arrest for like 8 or 10 like horrible days. And after that, I mean, I found this place, and since then I'm here in this hostel, in complete house arrest, and of course still not able to see my daughters. So you understand, I mean, the level of dictatorship that they put you on a house arrest, and then they torture you in unimaginable ways. Of course, even like the crime that I supposedly committed wasn't the crime at all, and it was done, I mean, and under the same, I mean, when I was in my mother's apartment, under the same kind of torture. It's not only the electric torture, there were many other kinds, and they have elaborated on that on 2 long videos in this channel. So yes, I don't have this now. I mean, I'm not subject to the electrocutions now, but of course, the usual, I mean, and most common weapon of the Israelis, as I've said it many times, is noise. And of course, I mean, noise is something that, I mean, sirens, police sirens all over the day. And of course, like, naturally, some people in this hostel are, I mean, representative of intelligence services. And, I mean, as usual, they're here to protect me, and they're the ones that, I mean, always try to, I mean, to start fight with me, because, I mean, that's the way that it was all my life. I mean, that's the way it is. But no, I just ignore whatever I can, and you know, noise. You could, I mean, argue that it's not the most horrible thing, but I mean, it has a very accumulated effect, and I mean, they know it. They torture you that way. Of course, the most horrible, I mean, of all the predicament, the most horrible condition is, as I've said before, the 2 basic things. The first is that I cannot see my daughters. This is a crime against humanity. And also the fact that I'm so poor. I never thought that I can be that poor like in my life. Like, I never imagined that I will be in a situation that, I mean, I can buy anything at all, like zero, and I like eat like only food that comes from like donations, and I don't even know if tomorrow, like, I mean, what will be my next meal. I've never like imagined this will be my life, to be in a hostel for homeless people without any money at all. Anyone that, I mean, you don't need to actually learn about my life and argue about my biography. Just by listening to me, you understand. I mean, who is speaking with you? You understand like my background. You can understand. I mean, you can like deduce pretty good accurate picture about like what's this person's background. I mean, where did he go? I mean, what he's done in his life. And you understand very well that's not a person that anyone thought of him like ever that he's going to be like with zero money eating like donation food in a hostel. And it's pretty obvious. And I'm just speaking of I'm not even referring to the billions of dollars that Israelis have stole from me all my life. I don't even refer to that. I just refer to the fact that you can understand. I don't even need to boast like to speak about my education and my experience and my profession because it can be deduced from what we've already just seen in these videos. You understand very very well that this person is under these extreme conditions and cruelty of the state because the state is torturing the guy because they want him to break, because they want to eat him. This is manifested truth. You don't need to to know more than just listen to the videos or watching the videos. But I need to speak about the most important subject of my subjugation, because it relates so closely to the Titans genocide, to the genocide of the strangers. And this is something that must be said again and again and again and again and again. Someone asked why haven't I rode like a Titan or Venusian, or can I ride? Like, can an AI ride? So let me just I don't even know what it means. I understood very quickly that it's not sex, because obviously the people that ride you, whatever it means, like the Titan, the Venusians, either in Israel or abroad, are homosexual and pedophiles. So it's something else, and until now I don't even know what it means. And it was like something that interested me. For some time, but long ago I stopped like caring because I understood that it doesn't really matter. It might be just something that it's a metaphor for some kind like of operating. Using like standard like intelligence technologies, or it might be something that is like based on alien technology, something to do with the Neos probably. Or it might be something that is not like alien technology, but alien like psychology, something that is based on like the interactions between like the aliens at their own planet, but that was subverted in here for the purpose, for the usage of the scumbag of the intelligence communities all around the world. I haven't ridden or rode because nobody ever told me that such a thing exists, and I didn't know anything about it at all. I was kept like in the dark all my life. What do you speak? I need to get rescued out of this prison. What do you even? Do you think that that's what in my mind right now, to ride the Titan? I don't care. I don't want to be freed from this Nazi prison. And of course, during the last couple of years, many times the Israelis pushed their disinformation using, the propaganda machine. They, in a way that, so I will, like, they tried to make me believe that this whole riding issue is something to do with like kind of a mind control, and supposedly the Titan, like the females like it in a way, and also they push the idea that they also do it to me, and I'm also subject to their mind control. Now, several things, should be said regarding this funny theory that was, repeated so many times. First of all, if any intelligence agency has like meaning to mind control a person without him knowing, the most stupid thing is to tell him that such a thing exists. It could, but even that, yeah. Now I quickly recall the fact that the intelligence services of Israel is more like the operators level and the level above them are populated with like scumbags in their 20s. The pedophiles in their 20s that that are something is just like like Alexander the Large from the Clockwork Orange, but 10 years like older than that. That's and when you understand this, when you understand it, you can say, okay, maybe indeed they're so stupid as to to tell you that they can mind control you, even though it's the most ridiculous from like like rational point of view of intelligence service, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, they can do it because they are, I mean, so infantile. But I mean, more than that, why do you need all those like, I mean, host of like never-ending ridiculous like ceremonies? I mean, I'm subject to. All my life. I'm in theater, never-ending theater. Everyone is doing their plays, which I mean only get more ridiculous. So many plays, the flowers, and you know the running, and so and it's never-ending. And you ask yourself, I mean, why do they repeat doing this stuff? It doesn't work. Whatever they wanted to do, it doesn't really happen. But moreover, if they can control your mind, why do they need to like to use tricks from like from that? You could find, as I said many times, in Marie Planor, like a journal for young adults. Or maybe you can. I've seen such things in Chico Vidico. There were like a duo of magicians that worked in Israel in the 80s and early 90s, and they were popular in malls and things like that. Mostly in peripheral cities. So that's the level of. If you can mind control, why should you do that? And of course, the last but not least, okay, so you can mind control me, but look at you, look at your situation. You don't get the material. You're all dying because because you're hooked on the neurons and you don't get it. Everyone hates you around the world, and now you're also subject to radiation, which will soon destroy Israel entirely, and certainly will not. As you already know, because it already happened to you, like maybe to your generation before, but it didn't happen like a million years ago. It was very, it was very like, it was known that, many people, in Israel lost their fertility already, but now they will do, they already, the ones that they didn't now lost their fertility, both men and females. So, one could say that, and the initial, initially I was like, totally, like, pro-Israeli all my life. I was like, I served in the military as an officer, and of course, your starting point was like a target that is totally like on board with whatever you almost like want as a state, and you have complete control over him, supposedly mind control, and the consequences of those two, like complete control of the target and initial state that is completely on board with you, is that he hates you completely and you don't get anything from him, and the country is about to collapse. So how exactly is these are pretty bad results, like assuming you have mind control, and but so anyway, I should say that very simply, it doesn't really matter what hiding means. What matters is the following: I was married to a woman that was always under the control of intelligence services. Doesn't matter if people, like the operators, rode her like in the alien way, a psychological way, or just using the basic, the chip, the UHF chip in the ear, and the classical torture that they subjected Titans to. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I was married to a spy. Now, this is much worse than apparently I'm not the first person ever that it happened to him. Of course, intelligence services are doing it, but my case was was a crime against humanity and a crime against yourself, like as a species, because I'm a foreigner, as a stranger. To do it to a foreigner, which demonstrated, technological capacities that are much superior to you, is to shoot your own, like, species in the head. That's what you've done. Because of course, such marriage cannot last, because they ride her, and it's just a bomb that's going to explode, because once they had their children, it's time to end the marriage, because of course it's their interest that to get like like another pedophile, or another person which is a pedophile or homosexual of the intelligence community, will of course raise the new generation of slaves, and I should be like rock bottom, because they want to subjugate me, because they want to take everything from me. That was always what I want. And of course, they also wanted me to act like as a farm animal. So I need to be tested, by the most humiliating test that you can. And I'm speaking about things that happened after the divorce, which I elaborated on it earlier. So they put me on all sorts of trials in my workplace, so I will not be able even to work, and all sorts of trials that and inevitably ended at my of me being fired without any option at all. I mean, they all knew that I was going to be fired because whatever, I mean, outcome of the trial, it must have been like, I mean, it was the only possible consequence. And so, and I mean, the whole purpose of the trial is to see if I'm like, as a bull, I'm like, I mean, I'm good enough to unknowingly impregnate one of their slaves, which of course is married to a homosexual pedophile from the intelligence community. And I mean, she is a foreigner, and they want her, not only one, there was several. I mean, there was one that, I mean, was their main target. As I've said many times, a woman that actually was fond of. I never even touched her in my life. I knew that she lied and, I mean, told that, I mean, she had like sexual relationship with me. To this day, I don't understand why, even though I spoke about it a lot in the past. I don't want to repeat. It doesn't really matter. She's a slave. Her actions are not really interesting. I mean, the issue is that they wanted me to be their farm animal. That's the way they treat strangers or foreigners. It's unimaginably cruel. But of course, the most cruel of all is the fact that they took my daughters from me. And they should have known that, I mean, that doing it is the most counterproductive thing that they can do, even from just egoistic point of view, if they want me to have more children. But first, they don't think at all, and they don't understand I mean, the intelligence community in Israel and also in the West do not understand like the concept of family at all. And I've spoken about it a lot in the past, because I mean, the government, I mean, the state is, I mean, the replacement, like a replacement for everything in their life. Family, love, profession, everything, I mean, is replaced by daddy and mommy. They are all replaced by the state. If they want a woman, they get a slave, like, from the state. They want children, I mean, even if they are infertile, I mean, the state, I mean, take care of that and profession. So they don't understand. I mean, and add to it the fact that many of them are just children in their mentality. Even if they are 75, they are still children. I mean, they don't understand life or the basic aspects of life. So perhaps they didn't understand that. I mean, what they've done. I mean, and yes, I don't have sexual relationships. I mean, at all since I was divorced, which was quite some time ago. So I mean, even from the from the aspect of like, I mean, from the predicament of a farm animal, they acted completely counterproductive because they are so much. I mean, to such an extent, they are dominated by their ego, and they are not capable of understanding humans at all. Like, not aliens, humans. They don't understand humans. This is not, of course, a difference. I mean, for them, they are cool and they should all be dead. Like all the intelligence community are people that, I mean, they are scum of theirs and they should die. They will die. God will not forgive such like behavior, such unimaginably cruel behavior. It should also be said that I mean, we already after like, I mean, a forced genocide, at least on heirs of the species, because males of the species, I mean, existed in the past, including in Israel, and they were tormented in unimaginable way, and they almost all or many of them died. And currently, I mean, the fact is, I don't even know if any of them survived. But if they did survive, I mean, they're most certainly like hospitalized or like in an asylum or in jail, or I mean, they cut themselves as the Israelis, I mean, always wanted them to do. So I mean, they cannot act like as like partners sexually and romantically and like for childbearing to do evolutions. So I mean, so since the 1970s, something like that. I mean, those females, I mean, they were forced to live on this place without like any hope of having their own children, and of course sex and romance. So I mean, I'm not evolution, but as I said, I'm a representative of another species, and I mean, you've seen enough by now to know that I mean, it was positively proven. Not something that we should, I mean, discuss again and again. But yes, I can act like as a partner, I mean, to these women, like to have children and romantically and sexually, and it was already done. It's not like a theory. And yes, I'm not going to like be the breeder of all of them. It's not like or like on the horizon. But I mean, whatever solution to the predicament that was like planned by God or suggested by God. I mean, it must. I mean, it must have been. Maybe you and I don't know. I mean, what's the solution? I can think of all kinds of solutions, but for certain, we know that its first stage is me. I'm the first stage, the first step in any like future solution to this problem, because it's a problem. They were not made like by God to serve as slaves to homosexuals and pedophiles of various Western intelligence communities and to be ridden. That's not why they were created. They were not created for you to ride them. So this is a problem that and the fact that they do not live on their own planet, and for as a result of unimaginable cruelty that was done by humans, Homo sapiens in the past, males do not like are not. Titan males are not an option right now currently. So it's a problem that should be solved. And whatever the solution, a theoretical solution would be, we know that the first step of the solution is myself, is me having like a family and sexual life, normal sexual life, and offspring, children that of course I take my complete like duty and like Hannah will say of like raising them. This is the first step of the solution, and it was evident for the Israelis that I am the first step of any future solution to a problem that it was their nightmare to solve, because they enjoy the situation, the slavery. So that's why it was so important for them, like that I will be married to a slave ridden by their people, and that and that's why they did whatever they can. Since my daughters were born to detach them from me, and I fought for so many years, and eventually I failed. And there is not an hour that I do not like think about my daughters and how I failed them, because I fought so much during like 6 years of so many like constant battles against the whole world, just to be able to be with them close to half the time, to raise them, and it was worth it. Even though I haven't rested, it was very difficult 6 years, but eventually it wasn't enough, and they were taken from me by, And I have no mistake. It's me against the state. It's not me against like the mother, because the people that actually operate the mother are the ones that write the social like review to the court that the verdict is based on, which is, as I've said many times, this is the most cynical and cruel action that I've ever heard of, that the state can do against a citizen. It's a state that performs such a thing, that is doing such a thing, is a state that no like moral person can actually like negotiate with the with the representative of these states. That's one of the reasons that I say you should never speak with Israelis, because these people they just distance themselves from humanity. Humanity is not just so great. They're scumbags, all of them. But the people that do such things, like the social workers that write reviews and who are operating the mother, in order to detach, to take away the daughters of the strangers from him, so he will be a farm animal, and this is all performed, of course, by a command of the state, the Shabak, and it's performed by people that that they're civil, like they are civil servants that should act like on the best interest of the child. It's so cynical. The people that did it, not the social workers, but like the entire state, they place themselves in a different category from the rest of humanity. The rest of humanity are scumbags, but they are like something that is far worse than scumbags. They are creatures that cannot be reasoned with and shouldn't be reasoned with. No one should speak with Israelis after they've done such things. No one. I should be rescued by force, by movement of arms and legs, not by movement of mouths and tongues. So, riding or not riding, problem of my life is not the fact that I never wrote someone or that people wrote me. The problem is that I was tortured by the intelligence services of the state. They trapped me in a marriage with with a slave of theirs that, that's whatever they want in order, that my children will be taken from me and I will be, reduced to the lowest possible condition, as you've seen. Eventually they succeeded in doing it. And of course, that's with the help of like the law, the court system, the police, everyone. Everyone are part of this theater that is, as I've said, worse than Soviet mock trials. It's a mockery of the entirety of humankind, just like that. And the result is, the consequences are simple, and this is destruction of Earth. Again, we cannot punish the Israelis. They were already punished, and they're only getting worse and worse. People that around the world, specifically in the United States, which acts as a patron to this filthy state, but all over the world, people should have stopped this mad dog from like biting its prey. The mad dog, which is the state of Israel, and it didn't do it because you liked, the having slaves. And there is only one possible solution. It's extermination, and it's taking place. It's not going to stop. It's only getting worse and worse. You left us no other option. My subjugation, me and my daughters, is not like a detached case. Even if it was, think like, a culture, like a species that, acts in such a way to a representative of another, like alien species at first contact. Can anyone imagine first contact being so cool? It's beyond, anything that you can like find in science fiction. But it's actually much worse than that. Because whatever they do to me, it's not, even like, it doesn't end with that, with me alone. It's a way for them, for the Israelis, to continue the genocide and subjugation of the entire alien species. And it's evident. And we cannot allow that to happen. We cannot allow it to happen. Such species, they do such things for certain. When they will have another opportunity, when they'll meet another sentient creatures, they will... we don't need to think about what will be the results. For certain, they will exterminate them and take everything from them. It's not even a question. And I've said like 2 years ago, I remember that I've said it in one of my posts. Like, if God would ask me, is there 1%, let's say that, tomorrow these people, the Earthlings, the Terrans, they, get their hands on like a technology that will allow them to, have like contact with another like sentient species. And it's not, that's theoretical, you're really close to it. So it's not, you're on the, it's right on the horizon. And God asked me, according to like, you have almost 40 years here that you spend with those people, and I trust your judgment. Do you think that, there is 1% chance, at least 1% chance, that the humans will, attack, like, without provocation, or, using, of course, all sort of, like, manipulation that, they like so much, and, they find it so, like, like sophisticated. While it's like it's like it's like primitive like dances around like the fireplace, and like it's the manifestation of Loki. You think that you're so smart by like doing all your manipulation with that. Really, most of them like grew like a long bird like 100,000 years ago. Anyway, so God could ask me, there is 1% chance that they will start like they take an aggressive stance and start like a war or a process in which the other race will without its fault be like completely or almost completely destroyed. Do you think that there is 1% chance of that to happen? So I think that if my answer was yes, there is 1%, I think that God should have taken like the technology from the Earthling and make sure that they will never leave Earth, because it doesn't worth it. But the answer, if God asked me such a question, my answer would be no. It's not 1%. It's 100%. 100%. I've lived here for almost 40 years, and I can tell you, God, I can tell you, according to all my like judgment and all my analytical skills and everything that I've learned about humans, I can tell you that when they'll have the technology and it's right on the horizon and they will meet another sentient species, the probability that they will take an aggressive stance and start a conflict in which, either them or the other species will be completely or almost completely destroyed, in my estimation, the probability of such a scenario is 100%. 100%. So, that's why you are destroyed. So in a little while I will hold another video and on the subject of practical issues and with relation to the experiments with the Neos. I don't feel like it, but again, I need to occupy myself with something, and that's what I'll do.